What up, gamers? Fencer here, and welcome back to Frontline 2 Exilium. So, yeah, we're pretty much doing the event, but also it's like a continuation of the of the main story here, like after Chapter 8. And yeah, what level is she, by the way? Kind of curious. Level 16. Yeah, it feels kind of weird because, like, if you just play through the main story, they're like what, like in the level 40s and stuff. So like it does feel weird, like just going back a level now to like continue the story. I don't know. Feels kind of weird to do this as an event, but also pretty interesting too that they went this way. So yeah, just go in combat start. I do wonder just how they're going to. But yeah, I'm just gonna let it autoplay. By the way, I don't think I really need to play manually. Wait, what the heck? It's the normal sextants now. It's not the. Wait, what? She went back to the normal, not the not the Paradius version of her, I guess, or whatever. Okay. But yeah, like, I am kind of curious. Like, once we go back to the main story, just how are they going to tie it up with this? Like, is there going to be a time jump, or are we just going to replay this? But yeah, it does feel like a continuation of the main story, so yeah, I am curious on, like, how this will play out within the story. Within the main story. And yeah, I'm guessing that blue-haired girl was Colfin. At first I thought, like, that's what I thought at first, but then I thought, like, maybe it's someone else that looks like Helena, but with blue hair. But then I thought about, like, the spears going away. I'm guessing it's going back to Helena. And that Colfin is just on the ground being, I guess, rebooted by Dion. Oh, there we go, that was fast. Commander, we've recovered Sexton's frame. Estimated 20 minutes until we get back to the Elmo. Thank you. You've done well. Take care on the way back. Understood. We're heading out. Well, that's Leader Groza for you. She one-shotted that doll at the moment she got an upgrade. I didn't expect someone who chased new trends as much as you would bring along such old subordinate, Commander. I'm not a trend chaser. Really now. But then why don't I see a single familiar face? Shouldn't I be the one? Shouldn't I be the one, or shouldn't you be the one? Who knows best? Who best knows the reasons for that and best understands what happened back then, Dandelion? Oh, of course I understand. Is there anyone who understands you better than me, Commander? I simply thought your reaction when I phrased it that way would be very amusing. Ah. Naturally, I understand that you're bound by the limitations of the Mephisto agreement. That's what she meant about Mephisto. Like, when I saw that, I mean, for me, I only know Mephisto from, like, Marvel. I've only heard the name Mephisto from there. But I guess that's the name of the agreement. I like how I'm just, like, piecing in the agreement of, like, I guess what happens at the end of Girls Frontline 1. Because, yeah, I'm guessing that's the agreement that they had to follow where they had to leave Griffin and the dolls are not allowed to be within the commander's reach or whatever. Like, they're not able to join him in a way. Because some people are so terrified of you that the thought of you not being separated from those cute little dolls of yours keep them at night. Keeps them up at night. Really. And here I thought you had wasted away to the point where you gotten used to those days of drifting with the wind. You didn't have to say that. What's this, Commander? Are you mad? Frustrated? Wroth even? I look down and away from her. There is no response. I know that I'm not angry. Rather, the fact that she has hit the nail in the head has left me feeling a little guilty instead. All this while, I thought that I completed my mission, so I didn't want to experience those despair-inducing things again. Things like watching my friends die and sacrificing my subordinates. Oh wow, did some dolls die? Well, you know what? That's also like what I kind of heard too. Like the first Girls Frontline game was kind of like it can be pretty dark and stuff. So like I can see that happening if like maybe some of the playable dolls will die. Like if that's true, man, Like that already impresses me because some of these gacha games they don't. Everyone feels like they have plot armor where they don't die and stuff. But yeah, that feels refreshing to see. And sacrificing my subordinates, and even sacrificing too, man. Wow. Still, despite everything we did, everything we sacrificed, Paradius is still around. If my mission was a failure, then what was even the point of everything I did back then? As I ponder this, the regrets I've been hiding in the depths of my heart surge to the fore again. It's not like I don't understand how you feel. Maybe a new beginning might not be so bad after all. Perhaps those subordinates of yours could come back and work for you again. A new beginning? What kind of beginning? Perhaps we should start with a tiny accident. I don't have time for your riddles. No, you wound me, Commander. I guess Little Miss Nine will have to explain then. Lena? It's like this. Kellen had an idea, and she wants you to meet up with the 404 after this. You mean with 45 and the others? No, Leva, that is to say 45, is still on a mission with Kellen now. Cluckay's been leading 404 now. Cluckay's. I know, she's 416. She finally became 404's leader like she always wanted. Yes, Cluckay and her team are on a mission, and Callan was hoping you could send a squad over to back them up in case something dangerous happened. That way, you'll be making contact with them through a request posted by the NOMFA. Doing that shouldn't cause too many problems. Got it. Give me the coordinates and the time. I'll prepare for it. Well, it's not too urgent. Their mission is still in the preparation phase. They'll let you know if they need support. Also, there's something else which is more important. Like I said earlier, Helena needs to go to Liv. Liv. That's right. The Non-Military Forces Administration has forces under its complete control there, including hospitals with comprehensive care units. However, Miss Callan wants to bring her in via the Intercontinental Railway. Sending her via the Elmo would attract too much tension. Considering our past experiences, it's not like the Intercontinental Railway is that much safer. Last time, it was because there was a problem with the pickup at your destination. We'll make sure it doesn't happen again. But you didn't actually encounter any difficulties on your way there via train, right, Commander? That's true. While the Intercontinental Railway and the cities it passes through might not be 100% safe, at least the enemy won't be able to attack them so openly. In comparison, moving through the contamination zones is riskier. I suppose that's true. Thing is, while I can still ensure Helena's safety on the Elmo, I am not confident of bringing her out without an adequate escort. You don't have to worry about that. There are tons of dolls everywhere who are willing to help you out. Who knows, you might end up encountering lots of friends on the road to Liv. Encounters, you say? I mean, a random encounter technically isn't a violation of the agreement, right? Oh, you think it's gonna be Diane? Maybe? I can see that. I'm gonna guess Dandelion knows where Diane is, and then she's gonna set them up in a way where, because it's a random encounter, like it doesn't violate the agreement. Oh, that's pretty smart of Dandelion. Of course, if you can get Helena to safety, it's not like there's no way to deal with Mephisto. Am I correct in understanding that this is a condition for deal? Deal is such an ugly word. I have nothing but good intentions for you, Commander. The more you say that, the more I'm thinking there's some pit trap out there waiting for me to fall into it. Of course, the right to decide is still in your hands. If you're satisfied with your lifestyle of running away, you are, of course, free to reject my request. As long as you're really all right with that. I frown, then I finish the last of the coffee. For some reason, that memory fills me with displeasure. Although I became used to Dandelion's attitude 10 years ago, I'm particularly irked by how she's acting this time around. I glance at my watch. Just as I think someone ought to be coming over, there's a ding from the lift. Commander, Mei-Ling told me you wanted to see Helena, so I brought her here. Where's Mei-Ling? A diner gate called her away. Apparently, she needs to fix something. More of Dandelions tricks. Never mind. I won't bother about them for now. So there's also a diner gate too, right? That's the one from the Macchiato story, right? That little robot dog thing. I focus my attention on Helena, who is in front of me now. Although she just woke up, she doesn't look well. Helena, are you okay? Commander, just now, scary. Felt like something was getting into my head. Like I was remembering something, but I can't remember what. As Helena's eyes fill up with tears, my hand moves on its own and to pat her head. My heart is aching for some reason. Kolfin, is there anything wrong with Helena's body? Apart from bruises where Krolok hits her, her vital signs have improved considerably. Still, Helena was acting a little strangely back then. There might be something that the Elmo's equipment can't detect. Is that so? I think for a bit, and then I make up my mind. Helena. I wipe away Helena's tears and speak to her in the kindest voice I can manage. Don't be scared, Helena. I'll take you to a safe place this time. It'll be a place where you'll never feel scared again like that. A safe place? Yep, safer than the Elmo even. Not true. Elmo's the safest. You don't believe me? Commander, I believe, but... Commander, are you going to take Helena away from the Elmo? Yep, Callan gave us a new pickup point at Liv. As you know, within the NOMFA's Sphere of Influence, and it's within that Sphere of Influence, and it also has a place where Helena can get treatment, so we need to get her there ASAP, safely ASAP. Yeah, the Elmo has a medical center, but we're not a hospital. In that case, sending Helena there would definitely be better for her. However, if we're going to the city, Helena might end up suffering an organ failure like before. That's definitely an issue. I'll head back and consult with Helena on a solution to that. If you've made up your mind to go, then I'll go with you. After all, I am a medical doll. Oh, okay. And if anything happens to Helena along the way, I can deal with it immediately. So yeah, that was them. Yeah, that was definitely them. Like that Diane just encountered. Because Kolfin went with Helena here. But then where did Helena go to? It looks like, she went away from Kolfin. Kolfin, are you coming too? Yep. I need to accompany Helena. That way you'll feel much more at ease too. After hearing Kolfin's words, Helena immediately throws her arms in approval. Yay, Kolfin is great. I like Kolfin. So don't worry about a thing. We'll head out with you, Commander. Commander, is this really alright? Just leave it to me. I'll make sure you'll be fine. Helena remains silent for a long while before she finally nods and agrees to my request. I'll give Helena some anti-degeneration medicine, then give her another checkup. Good point. Take care of Helena then. Kolfin nods, then leads Helena out of the room with a smile on her face. I exhale and think. Then I pick up my communicator and describe the situation to Groza. What do you think, leader? My opinion is the same as before. Helena was exposed to the Nitos, so we can't be sure her safety with our present firepower if she continues staying on a vehicle. Since Miss Kalina has made arrangements to receive Helena, we should send her to her destination and complete the assignment ASAP. Finish it ASAP, huh? I rub my temples. I know what Gross is trying to say without her actually putting it into words. Maybe forgetting about the past would make things easier for me, but for some reason, I know that I can't do that. I tell Groza what's on my mind. As expected, she expresses her opposition to my idea. Commander, we have very few dolls on hand. Carrying out 2 missions at once would be too much for us. We won't be able to support Squad 404 if we had to cover for both you and Helena as well. Meeting up with Squad 404 would be an excellent opportunity for us. They're very good fighters and would greatly improve our combat capabilities. Then Helena. My plan is that Kolfin, Helena, and I will travel along the route Lena gave us while you stay behind and secure the Elmo. According to Lena, 404's situation isn't too urgent, so we'll back them up once we finish escorting Helena. So you won't need me to escort you, Commander? No, there's no need for that. We still have sextants on the Elmo, and we don't know what her deal is, so I can't be at ease if you're not on the Elmo. Also, using firearms will be troublesome once we enter the city, which will make your strengths very hard to employ. Someone like Colfin, who's good at interacting with humans, is better suited for the task of escorting Helena. Ah. Dandelion is decrypting Sexton's neural cloud, but it'll take some time to finish. We can use this time to hurry over to the train station. Rosa doesn't reply right away, unlike how she would normally. I suddenly realized that what I said just now might have made her unhappy. However, Rosa's not silent for long. She speaks to me in her usual tone. Understood, Commander. Let me do the planning. Okay. So yeah, I'm guessing what's going to happen here is that, I guess the way they're going to connect it back to the main story is that maybe somehow, at the very end, maybe Diane's going to escort Colfin back to us, and then that's when the story ends, and that's when the main story resumes. Maybe. I'm not sure. Or like we're going to see it from like uh Colfin's perspective, like when we got separated. So I'm guessing like the commander and Helena are like on their own story in the main story, and then this event story here is just like, yeah, it's just going to be based on Colfin's side of things with Diane. That's what I'm guessing is going to happen. All right, let's continue here. But yeah, this feels pretty cool, man. Just seeing more of the main story here. But I do wonder when we're going to get back to Diane. Oh, wait. Hold on. Here we go. I think this is where we're going to be at now. The fallen doll's neural cloud seems to have successfully rebooted. She shakes her head, then struggles to prop herself up. Diane gently helps to support her into a sitting position. Are you all right? Yeah, there we go. See, like, I think in the event story here, it's going to be from Colfin's perspective, like when they got separated with Helena, and then the main story is going to be the commander and Helena, and then maybe the event story here is going to end where we meet up, like right when we, I guess, reunite with them, with the commander and Helena. Okay, I can see that happening, but I do wonder if like there will be a time jump though, because I feel like we're just going to be repeating like the cutscenes here again, like fighting Sextons again, and then also like the plan of like what we're going to do with Lena and all that stuff. But I think I'm fine. Where am I? You're just outside an intercontinental railway station. What's your name? My name is Colfin. The doll called Colfin slowly comes to her senses. Then she seems to realize something and begins casting a searching gaze around herself. Commander, Helena? Helena? Commander? There's nobody else around except the dolls. Colfin looks like she's about to cry. Diane looks just as shocked as Zhang Yu, but she patiently waits for Colfin to calm down. The last thing I remember is the Boojum charging at me. Oh. Yeah, I could definitely see a whole story with that in the main story. I can definitely see that happening. Did you guys save me? The Boojum was gone by the time we arrived, and Big Sis helped to reboot your neural cloud. I see. I don't know how to thank you for your help. We were just doing what we had to. The important thing is that you're okay. About the commander you mentioned, could you tell me more about them? The commander? Why are you asking about the commander? Perhaps the commander you're talking about is the same one I know. We might be able to help each other out. Could you tell us more about this person so we can verify them? I didn't know the commander had so many old friends. Colfin mutters to herself. These people didn't seem like a bad lot, but she does need help. After some soul searching, Colfin decides to reveal a bit of information. The commander is a person who commands us. That was completely accurate and 100% useless. Of course, that's what a commander does. Ah yes, I should be saying this. The commander is a bounty hunter who drives a mobile base around, and takes assignments from all over the place, although they hardly make any money. The MBV. Is this MBV called the Elmo? Huh? How did you know that? Diane and Zhang Yu exchange looks. Could it be? It seems like it. Colfin, we were once tactical dolls who served under the commander of Griffin in Kryuger at PMC. Griffin, does that mean you used to be subordinates of the commander? Upon hearing Colfin's words, Diane is now certain that she is talking about the very same commander that she knows. That's right. Pardon me for not introducing myself. My name is Diane, and this is my little sister, known as Yu. We used to be tactical dolls from Griffin. This is Jiaohui. Well, was not from Griffin. She is very reliable and is a friend of ours. Zhang Yu and Jiaohui waved to Colfin. So please believe us when we say that we wish to help you. Miss Colfin, can you tell us what happened just now? Colfin glances at the dolls and decides to believe in them. Then she quickly explains what just happened. We were attacked by an unknown force on our way to the train station, and as we were exchanging fire with them, a Bujum suddenly appeared. I think I passed out after the Bujum attack. I thought my frame would be shredded. I certainly didn't expect my functions to be all normal. There were 3 floating spears around you just now. They flew away when we approached you. Floating spears. Did Helena save me? Helena? You mentioned that name too, in addition to the commander. Who is that? Why is there something as fancy as an automated defense system here? I can't tell you that. Colfin shakes her head. She clearly doesn't trust him. Huh? Huh? But we saved her life. Diane looks at Colfin and realizes that further questioning is pointless. More importantly, there are other, more pressing questions she wants to ask. Leaving that aside for a moment, do you know where the commander is now? The commander managed to avoid the Bujum's attack just now. I'm sure the commander would look for Helena if they were alright. Maybe the two of them are together. Can we track their location? Yes, we can. I planted a tracker on Helena. Colfin fiddles with her terminal, and the sound it makes indicates that it's running normally. Thank goodness, it's working fine. Hang on, Helena's actually pretty close by? But this location is underground. Colfin doesn't wait for the dolls to answer before she runs off towards Helena's coordinates. The group catches up with Colfin, and after passing through the broken quarantine wall, Colfin goes a good long way before she finally comes to a halt. There's a erected shutter leading underground at the location where Colfin stopped. The shutter is built behind a small hill. Half of it is below the ground level and is practically invisible from afar. The shutter's outer camouflage has been blasted to bits. It was once the size of a cinema theater screen, but now it's nothing but ruined fragments that have been blasted inward, as though something huge has torn through it. Looking at this ripping and tearing, did that Bujum flee in there? There's a weird slime on the ground. Looks like it went in there. Those spears flew this way too. Maybe they went inside? The Bujum might have brought Helena here, but with their defense system, Helena ought to be fine. Colfin wrings her hands, doing her best not to let her thoughts wander toward the worst. Diane gently pats on her shoulder, hoping to calm her down. Miss Colfin, things will be alright. Besides, the commander is here, right? Yeah. Colfin nods. She quietly mouths the words in her heart until she can calm down and function normally. The dolls approach the destroyed shutter. The interior is extremely spacious, and it seems to lead to an underground passage. This underground entrance, it has got to be some kind of shady facility. Looks like it's a secret passage built to smuggle people past the quarantine wall. Why is this passage so big? It's big enough for vehicles to pass through, and considering how close it is to the train station, it must have been built by a really powerful broker. Can underground brokers really do that? How do you think they transport the really big pieces of merchandise? All this can't just be a coincidence. Diane remembers the reminder that the railway police officer just gave them. That, combined with the fact that anything involving the commander is bound to be complicated, makes her think that they need to be exceptionally careful with their next move. Is this Helena's location in the depths of this passage? From their coordinates, they seem to be far below us. Perhaps there's another facility below. I have no right to ask you of this, but could you please help me find a commander and Helena? Diane looks at the pleading look in Colfin's eyes, and then at her two companions. Looks like your instincts are as accurate as ever, Diane. Of course, I'm overjoyed to be able to see the commander again. Diane turns back and nods to Colfin, replying in the affirmative. If we can help the commander, then we will certainly be inclined to help you. Please guide us to them. Thank you. Colfin gazes into the black depths of the passage and struggles to swallow the fear in her heart. Then she sends the coordinates to Diane and the company before turning on their flashlight and venturing forth. Is there a battle? Oh, there is. Everyone halts. There's movement up ahead. Are they a squad of PMC troopers? Their gear reads, Mongi Security. Maybe they're a bodyguard detachment employed by the underground brokers. Should we open fire? They might not be hostile to us. Let's circle around them and keep moving forward. Miss Gulfin, what do you think? Oh, there's an enemy here too. That's them. The ones who shot at us just now. HQ, we've been attacked by some kind of autonomous defense system. Casualties are 7 men, and we couldn't stop it from advancing. No, the target isn't moving at the moment. Those Unitates are praying or something. We can't step in. The cult is back too? My gosh. We're trying to get we're trying to get enough people together to lock the scene down. Our losses from the battle just now were too... The target. Are they talking about Helena? No, we can finish the mission. We don't have to... Yes, understood. Squad, hold this position. We'll mount a fighting retreat when the mishaps show up. Hang in there. Mishaps? What are those? Who knows, but Helena might already have been captured by them. Miss Diane, we can't wait to meet up with them. Let's press the attack. She's right. These people might put the commander in danger. Let's eliminate them. So I just realized, are these robots or are these humans too? It's just the way they talk. I thought they might, from the looks of them, they might sound more robotic, but I guess are these just guys in power armor? Like in a mech suit? I thought they were just robots, right? I'm guessing they are, but like they can, I guess, speak normally as humans. Alright. Yeah, that was something that I just thought about. Alright, gonna let this go by fast. Alright, go for it, guys. Oh, there was a guy behind us. Was it that diner gate? And yeah, apparently there is one at the ship, controlled by Dandelion. And Dandelion was the one that we met before too, right? Like we kind of like... Is she the one that we spoke to a little bit a while back? I kind of forgot, but I feel like it was her. But I could be wrong. Like in the main story. Yeah, there's definitely people behind us. There's that diner gate. Oh my gosh, about to explode. That's one, and that's two, okay. And he was frozen, nice. Finish him off. And now finish off this guy here. Nice. Alright. Let's go and continue. Or confirm for now. Yeah, so how far are we in the story now? I think we're about to go back to the main menu here to see it. Okay. Okay, so we still got ways to go. I just felt like, things have been going by fast. It just felt like that to me. I sit down in front of the control terminal and think about my next move. With Sextans and Nemesis on the Elmo, there's no way Groza can leave it, even if she isn't happy about it. I'm guessing this is before we departed? Like with Helena and Colfin? However, there was something strange about Groza's expression, especially when I was discussing the past with her. Still, she's the doll team leader. So she ought to be able to handle it. We'll need some combat power to account for any sudden developments. The other dolls are way too flashy, which means the best choice is Colfin. The conclusion I reached is that I can rely on my own flexibility and Callan's resources to take care of things in the city, but in the contamination zones, Squad 404 needs fire support from the dolls. I lightly tap the table with my knuckles and decide to split our forces up in the end. I scratch my head, then sigh heavily. The familiar pressure that once plagued me returns. I hate having to choose between a rock and a hard place like this. Have you made up your mind? Yeah, there's the Dandelion. Dandelion's voice comes from a strange place. I look around. Then I find that there is a diner gate floating in the air right on top of my head. Since when did you get the the fetish of sleeping into diner gates? The floating diner gate that was originally intended as a smart navigator for the Elmo flies a little lower, but I need to look up to see it. So a flying or floating diner gate, that's new. Even in a diner gate's body, this aura of smug superiority is uniquely Dandelion's. So like, is this going to be like a new, I guess, companion to the Elmo now? Like, you know how we got Vepley and Helena, and now it's Dandelion in this form. And whose fault it is that there isn't any usable frames on the Elmo? Now I have to lower myself to using this body. Lower myself. Who the heck even says that? I just realized, is this the diner gates at the main menu screen? I'm guessing that's the one. Still, being able to float around like this feels nice. Looks like the stuff I left behind back then has pretty good performance. With just a quick modification, I can interface with beacon signals. Now I can contact Elmo with no matter how far away you are. So you're saying, you're going to head out with us in a diner gate form to live? Well, if I stayed on the Elmo by myself, I'm sure you'd be worried about me taking it for a joyride and leaving you homeless. Oh yeah, I can totally see you doing that. However, I rise from my place in front of the command console and keep my gaze trained on the diner gate. The diner gate backs off a little and keeps its distance and projects a hologram of Dandelion, as though she's standing in front of me and having a conversation. Why are you looking for me now, of all times? It's already been 10 years, right? What, did you miss me? Did you think I was too late? I just learned that Paradius wasn't completely destroyed, and right after that, you show up. The timing seems a little too much of a coincidence to me. You're still as sharp as ever, even though you've been wasting away out here in the boonies for 10 years. I don't bother keeping up with the banter with her. Instead, I'll wait for her to continue speaking. Commander, why did you throw away everything away, and abandon everyone for 10 years? You should know the reason why. Of course, because you didn't want to get your hands dirty. But you do know that doing so costs you the ability to change things, right? Is that really okay? A lot of people think what you did was incredibly stupid. They believe that if you had just continued on your previous path, you'd be in a position of power now, instead of being bullied by Varjagers in the Yellow Zone. Do you think they're right? At first, I thought he wouldn't put up with this injustice for long, but now, 10 years have passed in the blink of an eye, and you've endured shame that normal people would not have been able to bear, with no intention of compromising in the slightest. Because of your sacrifice, all the people under you, humans and dolls, ended up living pretty good lives. I was definitely not expecting to hear those words from you. Are you trying to persuade me to go back? Of course not. You would thoroughly resent me if I did. Dang straight. However, it seems that you couldn't achieve your original aim despite going rogue to do it, and the target you were truly aiming for was never exposed. The time was not ripe for yet was not yet ripe for over the past 10 years, and now she has come to see me, so perhaps it's time for everything to be turned around. She, you say? Yes. Even if you don't believe me, you can believe her, right? I hesitate briefly, but in the end I ask the question in my heart. And what does she want me to do? Okay, who is she? I thought maybe it's Callan, just because, Callan is the most, I would say, important character when it comes to I guess the other dolls. But I don't know who she is. Dandelion smiles and shakes her head before raising a finger to her lips. She is just a simple, silent observer. The important thing is, what do you want to do? Leaving aside that pointless hatred, leaving aside that meaningless humiliation, what do you want to do after stagnating for 10 years? Dandelion looks into my eyes, and I meet her gaze. There seems to be an inescapable power in them, forcing me to remember something that I've been trying to forget. Or do you think not doing anything at all would be the best choice? It's obvious not. It's obviously not the best choice, but right now, do I have the grounds to reply like that? I. The communicator beeps. I hesitate for a moment, but in the end, I pick it up. Commander, the battle plan and combat supplies are ready. Do you want to conduct the briefing? I glance at Dandelion. She shrugs, then shuts off her diner gate's hollow projection, as though to say we'll have lots of time to discuss this later. I shake my head, then take a deep breath before giving Rosa her orders. Alright, have them come over to the ops room. The drone takes off from the Elmo's landing pad. Whoa! Zoom in. Uh, landing pad, and soon the massive Elmo is nothing more than a tiny speck on the ground. Helena and Colfin are on one side of the drone, while the box form of Helena's transformed defense systems and I are on the other side. Inside the diner gate's body, Dandelion sprawls over a nearby crate. She taps its surface curiously, as though she's looking for a way to open it. The drone pierces through the cloud cover, and the air begins to clear up. I take off my gas mask, and the morning sunlight is slightly dazzling as it illuminates my face. However, it is not an unpleasant feeling. On the contrary, I actually like it. Seeing the morning sun makes me think that everything is full of hope. I turn to look at Colfin. She's helping Helena to adjust her safety belt so she feels more comfortable. Meanwhile, Helena is looking around curiously. All this is new to her. That's just as well. I was worried Helena would be afraid of flying, but it seems my worries were unfounded. Just as I think this, I hear Mailing's voice over my earpiece. Commander, we're in cruise mode now. We're about an hour away from our destination, the Intercontinental Railway Transfer Station. Make sure you fly as well, Mailing. It took me a long time to get this drone back into flying condition. Of course I will, Commander. The drone will touch down some distance away from the train station. Miss Dandelion said she upgraded the diner gate's functions, so you can use the beacon's comms systems to contact the Elmo at any time. Got it. Thanks, Mailing. I'll be counting on you to get us there and land us. I end the transmission and turn to look at the diner gates that's engaged in amusing itself. I suddenly realize that this isn't any kind of upgrade at all. I mean, you're basically just making use of your permissions to access the URNC beacons channels, right? If it really bothers you that I'm using public property for private purposes, I can always get RKN to send you the bill for a long-distance broadband network signal. Sounds like this diner gates before me would make a killing if I sold it to the underground brokers. Think it could cover the bill? Even if you sell me off, you'll never be rid of me. Ahem. Let's talk about something else instead. Sure, such as? For instance, how much do you know about Helena? While the information we collected beforehand already suggested it, I suspect that she's not a fully immune individual. The only thing we can be certain is that she's related to Paradius in some way. Surely there's no way you're entirely ignorant of this, right? Am I really that all-seeing and all-powerful in your eyes? Unfortunately, I'm not as idolized as you, Commander. I don't have time to investigate this matter. While you were slacking off for 10 years, I was working on the development and maintenance of the URNC's fully automated internal planning and management system. How's that? Impressive, huh? So tell me, oh, endlessly busy Madame Dandelion, who is involved in great endeavors, where do you find the time to calm down and cosplay a diner gate? That's because I have a capable junior who is my pride and joy. Don't forget, OGAS is very good at differentiating and evolving. I upgraded daughter forks of my virtual cognition image and had them learn and grow until they become autonomous intelligences who can work on my behalf. So you created a few clones of yourself in order to slack off, is that it? Commander, I am in awe of how you can reduce something so complex and grand to a banal triviality in just a few short words. Oh, you're making me blush. Back then, even the URNC's top brass had to queue for a whole week just to meet me. Goodness, there might not be anyone at the URNC who could do this instead of me. Huh, is that so? Want to know how I did it? I'm kinda clueless of how about technical stuff. I bet Persica would love to talk shop with you though. What a shame. Let's discuss something else then. In short, while I've lost certain authorizations and permissions, I don't need to remain stuck in the central hub system anymore. And while I don't know how that much about Helena, this device over here is most interesting. Is this an automated defense system? Yep. It's made with extremely high-grade parts, and its makeup is also very interesting. The internal barrier design is very unique, to the point where I want to try to crack it to see what's inside. What happens if you get in? I'll be able to control the defense system like I do this Diner Gates, of course. So after cosplaying Diner Gates, Dandelion's gonna cosplay a box next. While the notion comes to mind, I decide to not speak it out loud lest I get scolded. This defense system is very powerful. It would help me out a lot if you can control it. Huh. You think she did control it when she was hovering around Colfin? Like the spears? I'm guessing that's how it works. The diner gates eye like main camera, whirls, and narrows, as though it's gotten some kind of wicked idea. I'll hold it off for a moment then. We can have you getting into the habit of relying on others and becoming lazy, Commander. Thank you. Once again, I turn to look at Helena. Colfin's head is down as she's checking her systems. I hit the PTT on my communicator twice to indicate that she should patch into the channel, and Colfin obliges. What's wrong, Commander? Helena's going to be spending a long time out of the contamination zone this time around. Is she alright? I brought some nutrient supplements along. They ought to keep her body functioning. Also, I modified my remolding pattern. Now we can dispense collapsed particles for Helena to absorb. That way her body won't degenerate too quickly. Miss Helena also promised us that there will be places in the cities along our way where we could treat Helena's condition. She'll coordinate with us as we move. Good. We need to be prepared. Helena begins gesticulating. That's a new word for me. Wildly upon seeing Colfin talk to me. Although I can't make out what she's saying over the roar of the engines, it's immediately obvious that she's trying to tell Colfin that she wants in on the conversation. As expected, the moment Colfin puts a headset on Helena's ears, her voice immediately comes onto the channel. Commander, sky, pretty. Not like on the ground. If all the collapse contaminations were cleared away, we'd be able to see things like this on the surface too. I see. So when cleared away? That is a mystery. Surely the great and mighty URNC will finish that task someday. Helena tilts her head from where she's sitting on the other side of the drone. Perhaps the topic was too complicated for her, but she decided to skip over it entirely. Feels like going out on holiday. Do you know what a holiday is? No, I don't. Colfin taught me. I knew it. A holiday, It's a wonderful word that's completely unconnected to my current situation. Colfin, have you ever been on a holiday? As if dolls could go on holiday. I read a book about it in a book. I read about it in a book. However, the commander can take us all on a holiday in the future. Holiday, everyone on a holiday. If only we had the money for that. Helena seems to be in high spirits today. That's because you're here, Commander. Helena has always enjoyed being around you. Looks like you've got a daughter, even though you haven't tied a knot yet. Quiet, you. Dandelion seizes the opportunity to slip into the conversation and begins telling them all about my various dorky scandals from Griffin until they doubled over in laughter. I quickly change the subject, clearly because I'm worried they'll fall off the drone from laughing too hard. Yes, that's it. Dandelion then talks about one of our previous missions. They were so shocked by the tale of the doll's battles and sacrifices they can't even speak. This time, I don't interrupt her. I silently listen as Dandelion narrates the past, and the faces of all my past friends and comrades come into view. The drone is flying serenely through the sky, and the sky is slowly brightening from the pink of dawn. At great length, Dandelion finally finishes telling her story. Colfin's voice sounds a little choked up over the comm channel. I didn't know you went through all that, Commander. It was all in the past. Commander, amazing. I'm not that amazing. There you go again, Commander. You get embarrassed when a girl praises you, even when it's a young one doing it. That sounds really wrong. Wah. Do you like them young, Commander? Oh, not necessarily. I believe the Commander's preferences are very comprehensive, otherwise they wouldn't be so indecisive on that particular topic. Hey. I try to reach out and grab the Dandelion gate, but she nimbly evades me. She hovers just barely out of reach of my arm's maximum attention, and as I am still secured to my seat, all I can do is glower impotently at her to indicate my displeasure. Commander, we're almost there. Please remember to put on your mask. The drone is about to descend. Got it. Alright everyone, settle down and prepare to descend. Mei Ling's voice draws me back to my task, and after hearing her, the others stop messing around too. I put on my mask back on, a signal to everyone to get ready to land. Colfin checks her safety belt, then helps Helena checks hers, while the diner gate attaches itself securely to the defense system's box. The drone slowly sinks into the cloud cover. Although I can't see the surface, I have a feeling that we're not far from our destination. Just as I am prepared for the descent, Colfin's voice reaches my ear, and my terminal indicates it's a private transmission. Commander, if Helena gets cured during this trip to live, will she be coming back with us? Probably not. Someone will protect her and take her to a safer place. Is that so? It'll be a little lonely then. For a moment, I'm at a loss for how to respond. After a brief silence, Colfin continues speaking. But that's definitely a good thing, right? In the story Dandelion told just now, you save a lot of people, so it's the same as well this time. You saved her, right? I'm briefly at loss for words. There were a lot of people I didn't manage to save. Dang. I mean, I'm kind of curious, like, just the losses of Girls Frontline 1. Like, just how, like, maybe tragic the stories might be. That's what I want to say. But even though I open my mouth, I can't bring myself to say those words. I reflexively look at Helena, but she has none of her excitement from before. In fact, she seems to be in a daze. Colfin also notices Helena's unusual behavior and speaks to her in a concerned tone. Helena, are you okay? Are you not feeling well? There's a voice. Helena does not answer Colfin's question. I can hear her muttering quietly to herself over the channel. Just as I was about to speak to her, the drone suddenly starts shaking violently, and I immediately realize it's caused by the shaking of the box beside me. What's going on? Commander, the defense system is changing form. The diner gate breaks free from its attachment and flies into midair to avoid being hit by the box's shaking. There's a voice that sounds the same as me. It sounds familiar. It's like before, but this time, it doesn't hurt. Did something happen to Helena? Looks like she can hear something that we can't. Helena, what's with you? Colfin looks worriedly at Helena, but Helena ignores her, instead gazing into the depths of the clouds. Over there. The box instantly transforms into 3 spears, and I hurry to grab the diner gate as the shockwave of the transformation tosses it aside. The spears fly over to Helena, slice her free from her safety belts, and carry her into the air. Colfin tries to grab her, but Helena nimbly avoids her. After glancing coldly at Colfin, Helena flies free of the drone, ensconced with the embrace of her spears, and swiftly disappears into the clouds. The disruption form from the spears makes the drone shake violently, and I hold on tight to the handrails to try and keep my balance. Commander, what happened? The drone suddenly lost flight stability. Helena, she flew away. Flew away? The unbalanced drone goes into a flat spin and plummets toward the ground. I glance at the propeller next to me and see that it's constantly shifting its pitch and orientation. Clearly, Mailing is doing her best to keep the drone aloft. aloft. All I can do now is let Mailing handle things. I hold onto the handrail for dear life, and the blood surging into my brain makes me feel like I'm going to puke my guts out. Commander! Hold on tight, don't fall off! Through the corner of my narrowed eyes, I see Colfin clinging for dear life to the handrails. The wind is blowing so hard that I can barely open my eyes. I channel all my strength into sticking the diner gates to the drone so I can free up a hand to cling ever tighter to the handrail. Pull up, pull up! Mailing yells over the comm channel. I never heard her yell that loud before. Perhaps her angry yelling had an effect, because the drone managed to adjust its propeller's pitch and the drone slowly stops its spinning. As we regain lift, the drone climbs hard, forcing me to change position so I don't feel uncomfortable. At long last, the drone's flight path levels out, and my blood begins flowing normally again. I take big gulps of air as I try to recover from my stress state. Right, I think we'll go ahead and just end it there, guys. Next time, we'll continue on. But yeah, I guess we're also going to see the commander's perspective, because at first I thought maybe it's just going to be from Colfin's perspective, but no, it seems like the commander too. Like, we'll also see like how they also separated from, like, you know, with Colfin and Helena, and I guess also the commander and Dandelion too. I guess we'll be seeing that too. I thought it might be in the main story, but it looks like this might be it over here. So yeah, that'll be for now, guys. That's game.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good